Hello, how are you? My name is Sebastian Cala, and I'm going to talk about Chapter 5, Sample Clear Lessons. In this chapter, you're going to find 28 different scenarios for vocational schools and 24 different scenarios for primary and secondary schools. A vocational school is a school which provides the students with different skills they will use in a future job. Uh, I want to mention just some of these scenarios. For example, for vocational colleges, you will find how to get a free website, the transistor device, motor mechanics, the electrical system, and the one I'm going to talk about, fish and seafood. On the other hand, for primary and secondary schools, you find, for example, landscape and ecosystems, mixing colors, the five senses, and saving energy. There are many more scenarios, but I wanted to mention just some of them. All of these scenarios are going to be based on two things: a template with a PowerPoint presentation and also a lesson plan. I'm going to start with the PowerPoint presentation. The topic is fish and seafood. Uh, my partner Cecilia Mendez has been talking about this topic, but I'm going to continue with the slides. Well, the topic is already mentioned. The level is A1 and A2, which is not high level, it's quite low. Then we have in the second slide, topic and the 5 C's: content, communication, cognition, competence, and community. We go on and we find topic in the first place. We find here the topic and also an explanation about it. And then the content. Here we find what the students are going to learn actually. Okay, fish and seafood categories, puzzle fish, etc. Then we have communication, and here we find information about the language that the students are going to use and the language the students are required to know before starting. For example, in this case, we find that they should have some knowledge of present simple and present continuous. That is would be ideal. And then we have we also have and we also find here scaffolding techniques that we provide for as help for students. Then we have cognition, and here we find all the skills that students require. For example, I need to read some of them. Labeling, writing new word pictures, naming and listing ingredients, outlining a recipe, matching the word to the picture, all different things and skills they will need. Then we have competence. Here we find what the students are going to do, okay, during these lessons. And finally, community, how they relate the topic to the community they live in. Here we find a link. We press it, we open this, and then we press enter. Here again we have the 5 C's. We can click here, for example, and then go back. And here we find a link to download the lesson plan, the PowerPoint, the worksheet, and all the material that we need to deliver the lesson. We open it, download it, then open it. Here we find activities from 1 to 5 and all the material. Here we will find the worksheets, the flashcards, videos, PowerPoint, all the material that we need to deliver the lessons are here. And also, of course, as I said before, very important is the lesson plan. I'm going to open it. Here we can see the lesson plan, aim, level, content, subject, communication, language, the time that we need to explain and deliver the lessons. The plan divided into different stages with short description and the different activities the students will perform. And finally, the activities. Activity number 1, then we have 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see this procedure. Here we find a description about how we should deliver our lesson, and here is included all the material. The first one is a PowerPoint presentation called Fish and Seafood, then a worksheet number 1, a glossary as an aid for the students, and also a flashcard. With all this information, they should be able to do a worksheet number 1 successfully. Here we have again all the material. If you want to find the material, you have to open again the compressed file, and for example, you will find here you have the worksheet number one with key, and worksheet number 1 without key, 2 with key and without key, etc. And I want to show you also the PowerPoint, Fish PowerPoint. You will see this is the first thing that we are going to present to the students. Okay, this information, lesson objectives, defining various fishes. We are going to discuss all these topics, all this material, information, fish categories. Okay, and finally we find how to identify fresh fish. Important information if they are going to find to work in a restaurant, for example. We close it. We have the flashcard here with the fish and different parts of the fish. Okay, there is also a glossary, and I'm going to open it now. And also I want you to see that in activity number 2 there is also a flashcard. You have to press Control and click, and the YouTube video should start.
Alright, welcome back. This is the Practical Vocabulary series of Prime Instruction and
This is a video in which vocabulary about the utensils of the kitchen are presented. I'm going to play that part.
We also have a spatula. The obvious purpose of the spatula is to flip food from one side to the other. So this motion here is to flip or to turn.
So all this information will help the students perform the different worksheets, the different activities. I found this information very, very useful, and I hope you find it useful too. So that's all.